Was good, y'all? Rich Sosa back in the building with another banger, man. So first things first, as y'all can see, man, by the looks of the title and the screen, I'm bringing y'all the top 3 new best meta builds that you're going to be able to use on NBA 2K22 next gen. But before we get any further, man, y'all already know what y'all need to do. Be sure to hit that sub button if you're new. Anybody who wants to join the Rich Gang family, be sure to go ahead and turn on post notifications. Hit that like button as well as drop a comment down below. So, with this first build that I do got lined up for y'all, I'm telling y'all, a two-way inside out playmaker. And with this build being number 1 on the list, we are actually going to be making it out of the center position. All of these builds are going to be able to have over 100 badges. A majority of them, I'm telling y'all, very rare when it comes down to the name, but also when it comes down to what position. I decided to make it out of 3 different positions today for each of these builds. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to speed up each and every video of each individual build itself, just so that way I can fit 3 in one whole banger. So as you can see, when it comes down to the two-way inside out playmaking center, this build for the finishing side of things is going to be able to get 23 badges. Really nice on the post scoring. When it comes down to it, you're going to be able to get badges like Hall of Fame Back Down Punisher, a few other post scoring badges on Hall of Fame as well. But when it comes down to the shooting, you're definitely going to be able to shoot on this build 6'9", and I'm telling you, the height, weight, and wingspan are probably the most crucial thing about this specific build, because the speed on this build for being a center is going to be very nice. When it comes down to what it's going to be able to do all around, I'm telling you, this is easily probably one of my favorite center builds to see. Now, 24 badges for the playmaking side, looking really solid, a little bit more stronger than the finishing, but I'm telling you, this build is made perfect. Now, when it comes down to the defensive end, y'all know that I cannot leave y'all hanging when it comes down to this side of the ball. Probably the most important. And as y'all can see, we have the potential to get 28 badge upgrades, y'all. Now, also something to remember on top of all of this, you are able to get the +8 badges, 4 from the rebirth and another 4 from each season that you do complete. So let's just go ahead and say we get into season 5. That's going to make it a total of 9 badges. Once we get into season 6, 10 extra badges on these builds. Gonna be really crazy, I'm telling you. Super game breaking, but as y'all can see, the physicals are on point, and on top of all that as well, you're still able to maintain a very high stamina. The speed is up there, then with the acceleration, looking really nice. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the takeovers. We do get the sharpshooting, playmaking, which is going to allow us to speed boost, and then also you're going to be able to get the rim protecting and the post scoring. Now, whichever one you decide to pick it based off of your playstyle as well as your preference of where you want to improve on this build. For me, if you want to be a little bit more unique, you can definitely go ahead and choose one of the post-scoring takeovers. I like power backdowns, that's just my preference. Secondly, I would definitely pair it up with either the playmaking to speed boost or the paint intimidation or stuff box takeover. And as y'all can see, we have made the two-way inside out playmaker, Bam Adebayo, Karl Anthony Towns, and Nikola Jokic as the comparison, y'all. Now, let's go ahead and get into the second build. This one, I'm telling you, much more all around, but when it comes down to this build, this is more of a guard, if anything. The two-way slashing playmaker, y'all. If you know about this build, I'm telling you, easily, probably the most meta build in this game, but also you can make this build literally at any position, at any height, y'all. And if you're still watching, just go ahead and let me know, what did y'all think about the first build that I brought to y'all? This one, I'm telling you, they're only going to continue to get even better. So if you are still here, go ahead and drop that comment down below. Hit that like button and be sure to hit that sub button so that way you can join the Rich Gang family. Now let's go ahead and get started. We're making this build out of the small forward position, and then when it comes down to what this build is going to be looking like for the height, weight, and wingspan, I'm gonna go with 6'7". Now when it comes down to the weight, I'm gonna go with 181. Then from here, when it comes down to the wingspan, very crucial on this build, I decided to go with 7'1". Now, when it comes down to the body shape, I like the find, but again, you definitely can change that to base it off of your own preference. Now, let's go ahead and get started. We're going to go ahead and now finally get into the stats. So, when it comes down to the finishing, you're pretty much going to be able to do everything that you want on this build. As you can see, with that driving dunk, if you decide to put it up to a 92, that means we're going to be able to unlock all of the contact dunks, both pro and elite, 24 badges in total, and then on top of all that, you're going to be able to even shoot just as good on this build, if not even better. So, 82 mid-range with an 82 3-point shot, 77 free throw, another 24 badges. But when it comes down to the playmaking, as y'all can see, we definitely go crazy on this end. 27 badges, very solid and to my liking for the playmaking. But let's go ahead and get into the defensive end now. This build is a two-way, remember that. So, that means on this end of the floor, you're going to be very nice. As you can see, pretty much 22 badges, but if you decide to add the extra 8, that makes it 30. I'm telling y'all, there is so much potential with these builds when it comes down to the extra badge upgrades. Now, as you can see for the physicals, the main thing that I want to point out is make sure that you're putting that vertical all the way up to an 80. When it comes down to the stamina, I lowered it because again, you can definitely change this to your own preference. It all comes down to what you want to do, how you see it through, as well as what you are comfortable with when it comes down to any of these stats. Now, I'm liking how the setup is looking so far. If there was one thing that I would change, it would probably have to be upgrading the stamina. That is very essential, but again, you can make your own adjustments at the end of the video. Now let's go ahead and get into it. And as y'all can see, we have made the slashing playmaker with a two-way name. Now, I did pick the shot creating takeover paired up with the sharpshooting. That gives us a plus 10 from each to our shooting, y'all. And we're able to break ankles on this build at ease. That's something that I really like. And on top of all that, you do get the contact dunks. Gonna be a very fun build to use. But now, let's just go ahead and end it off with a straight guard build. And I'm telling you, this two-way scoring machine has everything that you want your main point guard, who is going to be running point for your team, to have. This build going to be able to get contact dunks, speed boost, dribble really well. The defense is still there for guarding players around its own size. And look at the comments that people were dropping when I originally dropped my first version of this build. With this one, I decided to change it up a little bit in order to make it more balanced, but as well as up the pass accuracy on it. Now, we're going to go with the point guard position. The first one that I made, y'all showed so much love, and I just want y'all to know that I appreciate that. But with this one, we're going with 6'2", 174 for the weight with a 6'9" wingspan. Now, for the body shape, I'm going to find again, baby. That's how we hit it. Now, let's go ahead and get into the breakdown of these stats. Please be sure to follow along, and I promise you, everything is going to work out in your favor. Now, for the moment that I do have y'all here, I just want y'all to know that I appreciate every one of you who are still watching. Shout out to the Rich Gang family and anybody new that's coming through. I just want to spread some positivity real quick. Just be sure, for whatever goals that you have in your life, make a list of how to accomplish it. And I'm telling you, I promise you, God is going to make a way in your life for that to happen. And another thing, he who is in you, which is God, is greater than who is in the world. So with that being said, man, just have faith in yourself, trust and believe. And I promise you, what is meant to happen will happen for you as long as you line yourself up with achieving the success that you see for yourself. Thank you, God, for giving me this opportunity and sharing this platform with the Rich Gang family. Y'all most definitely know that I love y'all all day, every day. I will never stop this uploading for y'all. But as you can see, back to the build really quick now, we are able to get a good amount of badges in each area of this build. Now, when it comes down to the defensive end, you have everything that you need with the perimeter defense as well as the steal. Playmaking, shooting, and the finishing go crazy. With that 80 vertical, you're able to get all of the elite contact dunks on this build. Gonna be very nice to use, especially with this build in the right hands. Then, on top of all that, consider what this build is going to be looking like once you add boost to it. Now, with the takeovers, we get the slashing, shot creating, which allows us to break the ankles and get the plus 10 to the shooting, playmaking, and then the lockdown takeover. Again, it all comes down to your personal preference. For me, I would go with probably the lockdown with ankle breaking shots. But again, this all comes down to your personal preference. And man, It's been real. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all and I thank y'all. And man, y'all already know what y'all need to do. Be sure to hit that sub button if you're new. Be sure to go ahead and drop a comment, hit that like button, and be sure to turn on post notifications. Here you have it, the two-way scoring machine. I'm out of here. Thank you, God, for giving me this opportunity. And Rich, out.